My bad. Mvskoke, can you hear me? This isn't going to work if she doesn't talk to me. Give me a thumbs up or something. You have emojis there. If you can use your mic, that would be really helpful to call on you for this portion of the lesson, or this whole lesson.
Oh, I'm here.
Mvhayv, I don't know if you were the one that was in here last time I had to teach one, but if you are, great, then we can continue on with something similar to what I was going over last time. Okay, so today what I felt like we could go over was the past tense and how to make different verbs past tense. So there's a few different ways. You can, under here it says this dash in front of it means it goes at the end. So unk, ungi, or unks, there's different ways you can add it into make a word past tense. This H sound will be taught in the book. It's added in the middle of a sentence. So is this I, and there's a dependent on the I sound, and the Y-A-S or Y-I-S is the yays sound. It'll make more sense here in a second. Are you familiar with past tense, Ms. Samantha?
A little. Not very good with it.
Good. This will be good practice then, because you're the only one I have to call on. So if you were in the last one, or if you've seen this before, the first person, how to say, let's use Ayada, I is, I with an I, or Ayado is, Ayadoe. And then the second person would be etskis, etsi, etsi. There's different ways people say them. That's why I have each of them as an example there. Ayetski, ayetsi. And then the question form of it, which is more common with the second person. Ayetsa, or anything like that. Ayetsa, are you going? So let's add the past tense into that. And here's the list of verbs that we're going to go over with the past tense, the questions, and then how I would say I'm going, I'm sleeping, or I was sleeping, I was eating, or I was sitting, I was dancing. So if Stongo, welcome, Cassandra. If you can unmute your mic, I'd like to call on you guys to say these for me. Now, we'll just start with Ayada, or Ayada. The top line here where it says Ayadoe Yunk, Aye Yunk, Ayadoe Yungi. Those are all just examples on how to use the past tense of I went. So Cassandra, I see that you're unmuted. Can you read whichever one's comfortable to you, or whichever one you've heard? Or all three of them if you like.
Sure. Ayadoe Yunk.
Yep. Okay. So, and then the second person, I only did one example of the second person because it's not used too often. Ayat Zangi, Ayat Zangi, Ayat Zang. So this ungi, the E part of it, is usually used when you're continuing a sentence, I guess you could say. So how you ask the question, did you go, in a past tense as opposed to are you going? Here is one example, Ayat Zanga, and then you can implement these different second person forms here. The ECK, the ETC, the ETC, or the ETS, I mean, and add this unk, but with the V at the end of it. Put in right there. Can I highlight that? Yeah, right there. That goes at the end. So it'll be Ayat Zanga, and that's did you go in a past tense. Do we both follow there? So can I get both of you to try that last sentence then? I got you both unmuted.
Ayatsanga.
Say, Miss Samantha, can I get you to try to, please?
Ayachanga.
Okay, Mado. Okay, so we'll go to Nojda. Went to a separate page there, so I cut out the part where it's the second person, like you are sleeping or you were sleeping, because it's not said too often. It's more of a question. So we'll go over the first person one where I was sleeping. No jazz. This no jazz with the H in the middle of it. That one is said, but I don't hear it too often when I hear people talk with this H, because the H sound is kind of hard to hear for me, honestly. But in the book, it'll show that H is how to make something past tense. So the next one is another way you could say it. No is, because I was sleeping, and then the doe again. Noze doe young, noze doe youngi. So can I get you guys to say whichever one you've heard or whatever you feel comfortable trying? We'll start with Samantha. You're unmuted first, please.
Nukjays.
No, Jay.
Which one do you commonly hear?
I would commonly hear, like, if I was telling the story, like, I'd say baksangi nozi doyan. That's what I would say. Nozi doyan. This middle one. You know, and then I would say, like, yesterday I was sleeping and then I woke up or whatever, just continue the story. But that's kind of a funky word to use, like, in a story. But I was sleeping. Okay, so Cassandra, or go ahead, Samantha. Do you have a question?
No, you good.
Okay. Cassandra, can I get you to try one of these ones, please?
Nojito young.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so now let's try it we'll go to Cassandra since you're still unmuted. The next line, if you remember the other ones, you can use the other ones too, but this is just the example that I left up there.
The Nojasanka or the Hombada one?
The Nojatsanga.
Nojatsanga.
So there should more, like the C sound is in there. It's just kind of quiet. So that's why I just spelled it like this. It may be spelled wrong. I don't care. As long as you're saying it, it's fine. And do you know what you're saying in this sentence? Nojatsanga.
Did you sleep?
Yeah, that's right. Did you sleep? Nojatsanga. So Anthony, you want to give that one a try for me, please?
Get him, Coco.
Thank you.
Coco Tigers. Okay, so let's go on to the next one there. I didn't hear if Samantha tried it or not, but we'll go on to the next one anyway. Ombeda, to eat. So let's talk about the past tense of I ate, or we had a discussion about this one here. Homebes, that's where that I comes in the middle of there. The I comes in the middle of two consonants. If for my English second grade passers, Coco acted like it was too difficult to understand that. But when you have two consonants in a word like M and P, that I usually comes into place there when you're adding a past tense. So homebes, but then you could also, if you remember this one from earlier, homebes, I ate, the same thing. Hombidoyang, hombidoyangi, just depends on what you're saying. So this, now on this one, I should probably emphasize that hombidoyang or hombidoyangi is more like a couple days past when you're talking about eating. This homebes or homebes would be more or less like talking about today. Diet, Coco, is that how you hear it? Yeah. So the homebes or homebes would be more about like today you were eating if somebody asked you. So this unk one, the BNK or BNKE, there's no definitive answer on how far back in the past it is. It'd be more or less, it could be a day, it could be weeks. I've even heard it used in years, not this particular word, hombida, but I've heard it used in years. It just all depends on the context of your conversation. Does that make sense, guys, on that explanation of this ungi?
Mhm.
So let's try this. I put more examples on the second person question of did you eat? I'll start with Cassandra since your mic is unmuted.
So the asking of did you eat?
Yeah, did you eat?
Home pizza.
No. Home betza is like, did you eat? And then Samantha, do you want to try one? Don't go up all.
Onde bitcheza.
Yeah, home betzeza is like, did you eat? To me, they're all past tense. Did you eat? Were you eating? It's all past tense. You're talking about them eating in the past, not necessarily. I wouldn't get caught up on the English translation of it. It's all, both of them are past tense. Now, when you use this home betzunga one, it's a more or less like a couple of days ago. That's how I would hear it anyway. So if you were asked somebody home betza, or home betzeza, that's like today. Like somebody shows up to your house, you ask them, you're about, you just got through cooking, you want to feed them something. Home betza, did you eat? But you're talking about a couple weeks ago, somebody home betzunga, like that would be more of a couple days to a week or whatever beforehand. Okay, so here's another one here, legida, to sit. Now here's the H sound to begin. Leges. Lege is legidoyangi. Okay, so Paul, if you can unmute and want to try one of these, the second line here from Legetzunga, Legetzeza. If you can, it'd be great. If not, we'll try with Cassandra.
You want second line, Leggett Zunga?
Yeah, that'll work. Let's say. That'll work. Let's say. Okay, Cassandra, can you try the next one? Or either one of them, whichever one you hear. Look at me working that highlight.
Legetzitza.
Yeah, Legetzeza. And then Samantha.
Legicheza.
Legetzeza. Good. Okay. So we'll go into the verb bonida. In the book, it'll be hobanida or opanida, either one. This is just how I would say it. Bonida. Get me highlighting like a champ. Proud of myself for that. Are they not seeing it? Are you guys not seeing the highlight? Thank you.
I see it.
Okay, good. I'm really excited about that. The first time I tried it, I couldn't do it at all. Okay, so first person past tense of I danced. Banes. Like I said, the H sound is oftentimes hard to hear, so maybe that's why I don't hear it too much. You could say bane yes or bane doyangi. So let's go into the second part, or the second person question form of it. We'll start from what I see on the top is Samantha. Can you try one of those?
What do you want?
So either one, whichever one you feel comfortable saying, or what you've heard, any of them, either one of those two.
Bonitshanga.
Yeah, Bonitshanga. You might see that Bonitshanga spelled with a C instead of an S, but like I said, personally, I don't care about the spelling of it, as long as you're saying correctly is the main thing. Okay, Cassandra, can I call on you to try one of those, please?
Bonitsanga.
Okay, let's say Paul.
Bonnet Jaza.
Yeah, bonnets, Jasa. Yeah, so those are all past tenses of meaning somebody. Bueller. Meaning, did you dance? Okay. So these are just examples here, and here's what I want you guys to try as an exercise to put in a place or a food or, another place of where you did these actions at. And so I'm going to test your Greek vocabulary, I guess you can say. I'll start with Samantha. Excuse me. Can you try all of these? And then tell me what you said or what you think it's saying.
Do you just want me to read the word that's there? Like, I enjoy.
So this blank spot here where it's got a line, I want you to input something like a place, anything.
Mvskoke, I enjoy.
Let's say, and what did you say?
Yesterday I went to the store, past tense.
Yeah. Let's say that's very good. You went to the store. You didn't specify yesterday or a week or whatever. It all depends on the context of your conversation. They'll know you don't need to say baksangi like every other sentence. So, but okay, let's try the next one.
Mahagajugo Ayachanga.
Let's say, and then what did you ask?
Did you go to school?
Let's say, very good, very good. Okay, let's go to the next one. And don't worry, Cassandra and Paul, I'm going to call on you guys too to do the rest of them too. So you're not going to be left out, Miss Cassandra. You're not going to be the only one, I mean.
Jumbuji Mvhayv.
Well, that's an interesting sentence. What did you say?
I ate candy.
Oh, you said jumboji.
Yeah.
I thought you said chokoji. Chokoji homebes. Chokoji homebes means you ate the bathroom.
Oh, Jumbuji.
Jumboji. Okay, let's say that's better to eat. I would imagine probably tastes better. Okay, so go to the next one, please.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of a word. Like Jumba Hombicha. How did? I don't.
Yeah, you're missing the I sound in this word. Homebetsa.
Hombicha.
Yeah,
I'm used
homebetsa.
to the ECK.
I'm sorry.
So I said I'm just used to the ECK for second person.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
So no, it's okay. If you want to use the ECK, I just use these as examples. Use the ECK by all means, but add the V sound at the end of it. So yours would be Daklek Tumbi, Homebetchka, right? Add the sound of it, and it turns it into a question. Okay, so let's try that one.
Paksangi Obanayes. Obanayes.
Yeah, Obanayes. Yeah. Yesterday I danced. Okay, how about this next one?
I'm trying to think. Let's see. I guess
I know
Paksangi.
Yeah, that'll work. And I know you have some vocabulary there. You can ask because okay, so what did you say?
Did you dance yesterday?
Yeah, so you could say, did you dance yesterday? Also, just thinking to give you more examples, it could be Esta and Bonetsanga, like where did you dance? Or you could say like at a ceremonial ground or anywhere, Bonetsanga, did you dance? Or just depends on anything, school, wherever. Esta and Bonetsanga would be like, where did you dance? But I must say, very good.
Yeah. What do?
Before I move to Cassandra, do you have any questions on that or want some more examples? Maybe to help out the rest of the other two. Because this is all I got. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to Cassandra then. And we'll start with that one.
Oh, sorry, I was getting an incoming call. I had to decline it real quick. All right, so we're starting with the first one.
Yeah.
Let's see. The lofa, Aito Wayunk.
Let's say, very good. And what did you say?
I went to town.
Let's say,
Let's see. Next one is are you going, right?
yes.
So could I just say like Tulsi Ayat Changa?
Yeah, you can say that. Tulsi, I Sangha. And what did you say?
Are you going to Tulsa?
Okay, so yeah, remember this is all past tense, so it's did you go
Oh,
to Tulsa?
did you go to Tulsa? Right.
Yeah.
Did you go to Tulsa? Let's see. Simidiki home base. Base. I
Homemade
have a
base.
hard time with that I in the middle.
Yeah, it gets kind of funky in there, and that's why that I'm gonna scroll up here. That's why sometimes using this, where's that? This one right here, the yays, is a lot
Mhm.
easier.
Yeah.
Because it does get a little tricky with that I adding in there, because as first language English speakers, we're not used to putting things in the middle of a word. I just use this as an example.
Does
If
the
you
I
want,
have to go in there or can you just say home base?
home base would mean I am eating.
I am eating. Okay,
Oh.
the I is what's making it the past tense.
Exactly. Yeah, the I in the middle of this homemade base is making it past tense. If you were to use the yays, you would use it after the second I in this sentence. So home bay yays means I ate.
Okay.
And I didn't really know that YIS until I started talking to some of these Looney Tunes around here, and and noticed that they kind of talk like that, and I started trying to figure it out. But that is a form of past tense as well. So
Okay.
let's try that one again. Whichever one you feel comfortable with, homemade bays or home bay yes, whichever one you feel comfortable with, and then tell me
Okay,
what you
so Simidiki home base.
Yep, let's say. And what did you say?
I ate pie.
Pie. All right. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the next one.
Okay, next one. I'm trying to think of a word to put in here now.
Okay, so remember with this one, if you wanted to use the yays as a past tense, you drop this middle I, but you would still have to add the V at the end of it. Hombetseza. But go ahead, whichever one you want to use.
Okay, so let's see. Problem is, I'm not sure. I don't have a whole lot of words that I know right off the top of my head for food.
You can use any word you want to use. This is just practice and exercise. Doesn't have to make sense. You can use the dog. It's just getting you to talk it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Could you say like soga for like a hominy?
Yeah.
So if I said soga homemade pizza,
Yeah, that'll work.
did you eat like, well, I call them grits, but I don't know if that's the same. Yeah, how would you actually say it for grits?
I don't know. I got Coco on it. She's my residential fluent speaker right now. Okay, yeah, we'll come back to that one. Coco's doing some research. She's going deep in the archives of her brain to figure out how to
Yeah,
say.
if you find out, let me know.
So let's go to the next one and try something there.
Okay, so this one means dance.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Nithkuji or Sakonipki Haga.
Sapunipkihaga.
That's what I've heard. Thank you, Coco.
You're welcome. Don't think Paskova.
Don't listen to her. Let's get on with the lesson.
He called us Looney Tunes.
Okay, so let's try this one here. Past tense of dance. I danced.
Okay.
I guess that's kind of hard, huh?
Yeah, that one's kind of hard because I don't know where the heck would I dance
You could say
other than like boxy, like yesterday.
baksangi. Yeah, just use that one.
Paksungi Banayes, but I don't really know where I
Yeah.
dance at.
Bana is baksangi bana is. That'll work. I mean, you could even add in a place. Baksangi untugo bana is. And then what did I say there?
Yesterday, I don't know, was that at home?
Yep, at my house. Untugo bana is. Danced at my house.
Okay.
So let's go to this one here.
So I don't have a word to use there. Give me an example and I can most likely
So you could say Estan Banatsanga.
and that is just meaning
Where
like
did you dance?
where did you dance? Estan
Yep.
Panitsanga.
Yeah. Or I could use Estamayman, Estaman, Estamayman, Estaman. I'm looking at all those ways to say where, but Estan Banatsanga, where did you dance?
But oh,
Much say. Mr. Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to try to run it down for me? And then tell me what it means.
Okay, first one. Adokida. Ayidowe young.
Okay,
Dowe
let's say.
unks.
Yep. And then what did you say?
Said I went to work.
Let's say that'll work. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay. Mahagajugo. Ayit Junga.
Yep. Ayat Zanga. Mahagachugo Ayat Zanga. And what did you say?
Did you go to school?
Yep. Let's say.
Mahagajugo Ayit Gunga.
Yep.
Junga.
Ayat Zanga. Ayat Zanga.
Gunga.
Yeah, Gunga, Ayat, Gunga. I think you might have learned the ECKE in the second person. I think it was Samantha that said that was more familiar with her. If you want to use that, go ahead. It would be Mahagachugo Ayat Gunga. Ayat Gunga.
Gunga.
But this is just an example of how I would say it. Ayat Zanga. I probably wouldn't even pronounce the C.
Gunga.
Yes, but if Ayachkis is more comfortable with you, by all means say it. Ayachkanga, that's the only difference is. Okay, try the next one, please.
Okay, Abiswa homemade base.
What to say, and what did you say there, Mr. Paul?
Said I eat meat.
All right, I ate it.
I ate it. I ate meat.
Yep. Okay, how about this next one?
Then Jawada homemade bitska.
What to say? You translated that one very good with how, because I think you're more comfortable with the ECKE, right?
I tend to want to say ska. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll say it, but I switch back and forth. It basically according to what the word is.
So yeah, that either way, you said it correct. Homemade betchka is what they would teach in the book too. So, and then tell me what you say. Chawada homemade betchka. Dianoga. What does that mean?
That means you ate goat.
Yeah.
Ask them the question.
Okay, let's go to the next one here. Banayas.
Okay, Tallahassee, Banayes.
Yep. Let's say. What did you say?
It's saying I danced at Tallahassee.
Yep. Okay. to the next one.
Mm. Mm. That's when I could say like, use like another tribal town, Niaka, Banitjunga.
Yep. So yeah, Bonnet or the way
Sangha.
Bonnet yeah,
Oh, Skunga.
tongue tie too. But those are the examples I have for that. With much say, Paul, Mado for speaking up, Mado to everybody for speaking up, because I personally don't like just talking at you. I want to hear you say it. Make sure you can say it, and if you need help, ask me questions. Do you guys want to have any questions over some of the stuff when we went? Maybe more examples or how to say something else?
I got a question. I think you're saying it like this. When you like that bottom where you're saying Ayat Skunga, you're basically splitting it where Ayat and then Skunga or down at I think it was down on the bottom.
Okay.
When we're doing the last one.
That one.
Ayat Skunga.
Yeah.
You was when you put the C, S and the C together, it was coming out like Skunga. Am I right?
You can say that. There's multiple ways of saying this. It just depends on how your dialect or whoever taught you. The way I hear it is Ayatunga. I wouldn't even pronounce this C. This T is silent, like barely pronounced. It's Ayatunga, but you can say Ayatunga. Either
Okay,
way.
I was just trying to hear your pronunciation. That way it wouldn't be foreign with me. Or
Yeah, my pronunciation would be Ayatunga.
okay.
The C probably wouldn't even be in there. I just put it up there as an example to kind of throw a wrench in y'all's plans.
Okay, Mado.
How about Cassandra or Samantha? Do you have any questions on any of this stuff, or maybe you want to go over something a little more?
Can you go back over which one means further back in time as opposed to like today? Like when you're
Okay.
asking someone when they come over to your house and you want to say, hey, did you eat? So I could make you something.
Yeah, of course. So that's all this right here. This A's, the YIS, and the unk and the ungi. So when you're asking a question like, okay, so let me go over this bottom part here, because you did ask, what did you eat or whatever. This bottom part here, home betsa is like more or less, did you eat today or like earlier? Home betsesa is the same thing. It's just a past tense of that asking someone, did you eat? Home betsunga, if you listen for the B and K sound, the unk, it's usually referring to yesterday, day before, weeks, maybe even a year. It just all depends. So whenever you hear about this eating or eating is one of them, like these ones that have this I in the middle. Like I said, it has two consonants in the middle of that verb. When they use that I in the middle, it's more or less today. So you can use that for litkida, iskida, wakida. Trying to think of other ones, but off the top of my head, those are the three. But you want to listen for this unk sound to really understand that it's either a day or a week or so.
Okay, so it is the unk part that makes it a little further back in
Yes,
time.
ma'am. But and then words like we'll use Ida as an example. On words like this, Ayatsanga, that would be like today. It could be earlier today, it could be yesterday. It's where they use that extra I sound, AY sound. But
Okay, yeah, I see quite a few of them where it has like the extra I, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mado, that makes more sense.
Okay, good. You want to pay attention to more of the unk sound, the V and K, and that's more, like I said, more or less yesterday or the day before, week, anything. Samantha, you got a question? Say anything, statement, comment, concern?
The ASA ending.
Yeah.
I noticed you didn't do it with the AIDA.
Oh, I didn't use it with Ida. Well, to me, I have to ask my residential fluent speaker here, Mvskoke. To me, I can't really recall I would use ASA with Ida. Ida, ASA, does that make sense?
I get Jason.
Yeah.
Did you go?
Yeah.
You could use it like that, but it sounds funny.
Yeah, there's a reason why I didn't use some of them. Like Mvskoke just said, I don't know if you heard her. She said you could say Ida, ASA, like as in a question, as did you go? But it sounds kind of funny.
Mhm.
And for me, that just takes time, practice, hearing it, and it can be frustrating at times, but you kind of just have to figure it out.
So are you trying to ask, did you go?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, that's what I use. That's the example I use. Ayatsanga,
She's asking.
if why I didn't use the ASA sound or ASA, because I'm sorry, but I really can't think of another reason other than it kind of just doesn't make a lot of sense when you say it. It sounds funny, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to see about the other, like, like the 8th grade. I guess it would be like, was it?
No,
Yeah.
Jeza. Yeah. Ayatsa or Ayatsa. Ayatsa. The Ayatsa, that's how I say it a lot, is this just with an I sound, like an English I. The correct pronunciation is Ayada. So it would be Ayatsa, but if you say Ayatsa, that would be correct in a past tense as well. Ayatsa, Ayatsa. Can you hear that sound difference there?
Mhm.
And that is the 8th grade, like what you said. And I didn't want to get that deep into it, but if you understand the 8th grade and everything, we can dive right into it.
Well, I'm terrible at 8th grade.
I am.
And that's why I was curious is what is used more often, I guess, and how you know what to use and when to use it.
Okay. Like I was stated earlier, the 8th grade, for Cassandra and Paul, I think Paul might know, but I don't know about Cassandra. The 8th grade is basically putting in that H sound to elongate this vowel. Like on nojes, you would say nojes, nojetsa, and that's instead of saying nojetsa, it would be nojetsa. If you can hear that sound, it's really difficult to hear, but that's why I don't think it's used very common. It would be more or less the nojetsanga sound. That way you can actually hear the B and K sound.
Even if it's recently, or is that just when, like if somebody's just walking in or something? Do you
Even if it's,
get it with the onga or the ASA?
yeah, so like if I were to walk into my work and I ask somebody like if they slept good or something like that, I'd probably use the unga sound, but for last night.
Please.
Guys got some good questions here. I don't know if I'm the guy.
Man.
Any other questions on this stuff here that we can get Coco to answer? If that's it, I'm going to finish up. I sure do appreciate you guys coming to our classes for the month of June. Tomorrow we will not have a session or a class because we're starting a new thing for July for the you three that are here. We are starting a evening class at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and that'll be taught by Carolyn, who teaches this 3 p.m. class, our Mvhayv Carolyn. But I had to step in for her today. But that'll start on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the month of July, and it'll be over sentence building and structure. But like today, we'll call on you guys. We'll hope to call on you guys to help build a sentence, and I think it should be a lot of fun and pretty informative because Carolyn's a first language speaker, and we can learn a lot from our first language speakers. But again, if that's it, Mado, for everybody coming out for our classes for the month of June, this is going to be it for now. But again, we'll start again July 5th, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
July 5th is when we'll start up. But,
Okay.
Mado.
Mado.
So
Madu.